What is going on, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Expected Bets for your go-to podcast for all things hockey betting. We have the crew today. We have Gretzky
Yeah.
Betsies and Franco the Banker. Guys, another great slate of hockey today. Not really.
All right. For a
We're gonna.
betting
I know.
perspective, it's not great.
Yeah,
But all these games are kind of interesting in their
I would agree
own
with
right.
that. Yeah,
But
but
there's
I mean,
also a lot of teams, big teams that I'm looking at here that are kind of struggling or have injuries right now. So I don't know. It's weird.
well, and then you have the rumor mills around Utah, as you mentioned pre-show, Pittsburgh, Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
LA, like there's a few of those teams that are playing tonight too that some things could happen, I'm guessing, in the next week or so before this Four Nations face-off kicks off.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
It'll be wild if a trade goes down before the slate goes, though. Kind of throw
Just
everything.
like the Nature's ranting. Well, they had a day, right? They weren't
I
playing.
think they had a day. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like Pedersen
I
or
think
Miller
both
gets
those
traded.
teams were playing that night, right?
I can't remember.
Maybe not. No, I don't think they were. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, though, we talked pre-show. We talked pre-show and 5 games today, and I'm sure this will be a quick episode of no deep dives into random props and any sort of games. We'll keep this on track for sure. Yeah. Brant Clark as well. I mean,
Brant Clark,
Pedersen, who knows?
Maybe Kings could get that done.
I want Pedersen in Buffalo.
I don't know how they would fit under the cap, actually.
I don't know. LA always seems to do some weird moves too with the cap in that regards of kind of how that goes. But any other news pre-show that you guys wanted to go over before we hop into this slate?
No.
How about Drew Doughty coming back to kick off our slate here?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty big news.
Yep. And if you didn't like taking props against LA before Doughty was back, you're really going to hate it now. Yeah.
That's yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
who knows
right.
What form he is in right now, because that injury was brutal. And at least Florida is a team that has high volume shooting, but
again,
LA
but it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is he gonna have his legs under him? You know, is he gonna be able to play?
Tonight,
you know, not tonight, I don't think. And he displaces Clark, right? So that kind of takes like a young, fast defenseman off the ice and adds a slow old guy. I mean, I'm sure he'll get up to speed fast enough, but might not be the ideal team to go against.
No, but for
certainly not your first game back.
Yeah, he's like, come on, guys. I get Florida, and then Tampa.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. First game of the night: Kings at Panthers. Panthers minus 155. Kings plus 130. Total is set at 5.5 plus 105 to the over. We're expecting a high-scoring affair in this one. Not. Betsky, what do you got in this one? There's a few shots on goal props, but like you said, do you trust the Florida Panthers shooters? Do you trust, like, it's weird because LA's been so good against shots.
It is, but regardless, you have the second highest shooting team in the league over the past 10 games. And the third over the course of the entire season. And we know that this number typically goes up when the Florida Ice Cats play at home. I think you can still trust it here, even if LA is on the flip side of here and is one of the teams that allow the least amount of shots against. But they're dishing out guys like Forsling at 1.5, Barkov at 1.5. They kind of understand that the volume is down a little bit. Actually, Barkov got moved to 2.5. But yeah, I think the shots are probably the area to kind of target here, because the points side of things is either just blindly trusting the chalk and hoping there's a couple goals, or the game goes not how we're all predicting, and it's 5-4. What was they just played each other too?
Yeah, I believe that last game was low scoring too, right?
Have ended. Yeah.
2 or 1 difference.
We're also
2
seeing
to 1
something.
Kings last Wednesday.
Yeah.
So then
Not,
2 to 1
not
Kings
expecting
last
goals
week.
here. So 2 to
Last
1
week
Ice
Wednesday.
Cats tonight.
So it's Florida in regulation tonight.
Or Florida 5-3 or something.
Yeah.
Just
Florida,
because
you're getting at even money tonight for an in reg win.
Yeah.
I don't mind the
thing,
draw. I see everybody in the chat talking about these games all being tight, but
yeah. No, what's up, Breezy? Yeah. Drop's not bad. Barkov at 3 actually looks pretty good. His history has been fantastic against the Kings. He's hit that in 5 straight, averaging 6 shot attempts. But like I mentioned, I felt like earlier his line was set at 1.5. I mean, every book you can adjust at this point, so it doesn't really matter. But
I mean, we also have an interesting scenario with Sam Bennett tonight. He's hit his 3+ shots on goal mark in 7 straight games. He's hitting 5 of 6. Or 4 of 5, excuse me, versus LA. He's hit in, I want to say, 7 of his last 10 at home, and you're getting his 3+ shots on goal mark at plus money. Feels like a trap.
I locked it in earlier. I don't care. I'm walking right into it.
Yeah.
His volume's been too good.
Factor.
I mean, I get it. It's a little scary given this matchup, but the it just been ridiculous. It feels like he's averaging.
And that's the only thing, though. Like everything else lines up besides this matchup.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
But historically, he's been good at it. He has the same thing with Carolina, where he just wrecks his shots on goal against them, and they've always been one of the stingiest teams for shots against. And it's one of those situations you can just trust it. And then again, don't forget, we had him at like minus 105 against Anaheim a couple days ago.
Yeah,
like last week. So there's been some weird adjustments with the books. I don't know if they're trying to make it a little bit more enticing to get back into shots on goal props, but
it's definitely been better.
Yeah. The prices have been a lot more bettable.
And then yes, Forsling on the other hand too, hitting 10 of 10 straight. I want to say 11 of his last 11 home games and 3 of his last 5 first. That's Boston. Nope, that's me.
Oh,
that's in Boston. Shit. Come on. Forsling at minus 165 tonight seems like another decent parlay piece.
Yep, agreed. And sometimes when I see players getting pushed back to 1.5 as like the set line, it's almost kind of like the books, and it's gone both ways. So I should really be tracking this. But I feel like there's times where the books don't want to push the risk of the plus money prop being available. So then they just drop it and make it harder to bet as a straight, obviously, and more of like a parlay piece.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other props I had circled. Barkov at 2 doesn't look bad in this
Barkov
one.
At 2.
Fiala shots doesn't look bad either.
Chuck shots against LA are very good, but I just can't trust the current volume, and that's kind of the difference between like him and Bennett.
Yeah,
I like Fiala as well. I agree with you there, Gator, but just keep an eye on the injury report. I saw he was questionable or game time decision with an illness. So,
any thoughts on Kempe's shots tonight? I know his home and away splits don't necessarily bode well for this game, as he's better at home. But he's hitting 4 straight, some unbelievable attempts in his last 4, 11, 11, 7, 8, hitting 3 of 5 versus the Panthers. So not necessarily another bad option on the LA side.
No, not at all.
Florida's, so that would be where I think I would lean if I was going for a prop on the Kings.
Yeah, I think you can make an argument for either him or Fiala. And if Fiala's out, I think even more so you go Kempe.
Yeah, I would agree completely. I think that kind of one of those that you wait and see at 6:30 and kind of decide between those two in this game. But yeah, if Bennett's at 3+, and then deciding between Fiala and Kempe. Do you guys have any other looks in this one?
So time on ice. I decided to go click that tab. Drew Doughty is sitting at 16. What are we thinking? Over or under? First game back. Top power play.
They have to be. There has to be some discussion that they're going to.
Well, McDavid missed it the other night. McDavid in his first game back, he finished with 21 minutes, and his line was 21. I want to say 45 or 30. I lost that.
It was 21-45. And I really think that was hurt by that first period. They had like 3 penalties or something like that, and he didn't get any ice time because of that. So I think that played into. I think we would have gone over if you take one of those power plays away from them. So. I'm just saying, like, what do you guys think? I feel like
that seems crazy low.
Is really that's what I'm saying. Just like given what he is, like what you're gonna shift like guys that shouldn't be getting shifts against this team. You know,
would you also
Clark out?
He was averaging 25.3 over his last. Or 5 against 4.
I mean, he just needs. Right? I think 20 is a very reasonable number. Even 18 is a very reasonable number for him, and that would be limited.
Even as like a limit.
Yeah.
16
feels really low to me.
That's a good question. Does OT count as well?
It doesn't specify, so I guess yes.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make sure to change that later. Don't worry.
Yeah. So the other thing too with. If Fiala is out, Kempe's time on ice is also listed at 20 minutes. Would you look at that margin or just lean more towards his shots?
Let's see if we can get a.
He averages 20.1. He's had over 20 in the past 2 games, and then under 22 before that. There was
so at this point
in his 10 where he was over 20 for straight.
So at this point, stay away and just look for it. I mean, his attempts in the last 2 games have been 11 twice. So just go to his shots at that point.
Yeah. How's Florida been with taking penalties lately? I know they started the season off.
They were bad.
Disciplined.
I will say one thing. I just props that Cash lets you say without a player. So without Fiala, the minutes are up and down, so I wouldn't go there. But his shot attempts, his last 5 without him, 13, 12, 10, 10, 10.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Love it.
Yep. So we're almost hoping Fiala to be out tonight.
Yeah.
And even if he's not,
makes it clear.
It's not a terrible look either.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like that. Bennett and Kempe in this game.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. I like those Bob saves too, Prop Doctor.
Yeah. And then even that Doughty time on ice too at 16 minutes.
No.
You don't want to go there?
You want to go over?
I think so.
It wasn't going to be under
that low unless they know he's not going to be
unless you got to look
because it's a new market that they haven't figured out yet.
This is a deep dive bet because you're going into the LA Kings beat reporters' Twitter profiles and like seeing what the press conferences were this morning about Doughty returning to the lineup and seeing if he was going to be limited or not. That's a deep dive bet.
He's on the second PK. He is on the top PP.
No, top power play
on the third line, third pairing.
Yeah, but that's
limiting him tonight.
I mean, maybe. What's
Why would he be limited if he's on the PK though?
Second PK.
Yeah, but still, would you want to pull him off if you're limiting him?
All right, so Brant Clark, the last game, played 14 minutes. So,
I'm not touching it. No way.
Yeah.
Utah just did this with Marino. They had him on the third pair and really severely limited his time.
How much time did he get? Because he was out for a while.
Fortunately, he's probably one of the more challenging players to find.
Yeah, Cats are ranked 9th in their last 11 games. They go 2.64 power play opportunities per game. So,
well, Marino may have had. He had 18 minutes.
16 just feels so fucking low, man. That's all I'm saying.
That does.
It's really they gotta be really limiting him.
Man, it just seems like such a no-brainer to. And here we are, 15 minutes of Cloudy ice time discussion later.
It's usually how it goes.
Florida is allowing the 9th most power play opportunities over the last 10 games. So yeah, man, that's on DK.
Yeah.
Come on, take the cheese. Take the cheese.
All right.
Yeah, in Florida's last 10 games, they've given up 2+ penalties in every one besides one. So yes.
2.64 average, so right a little under 3, but that's good enough for 9th best. All right, let's move on.
All right.
16 minutes in this one game.
That's usually how it goes. Next game up, we have Minnesota traveling to Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs. Toronto -162, Minnesota +136. Over is 5.5, -115. Franco, I'll let you start us off on this one. Any picks for you in Minnesota, Toronto?
So this morning when I looked at this line, trying to kind of project lines before I look at the actual lines on the books, I was surprised to see Toronto at the number they're at. I get Kaprizov's out, but Minnesota's been pretty good on the road. They've been pretty good without Kaprizov. So I had to lean towards the Wild here, but the more I think about it and the more, whatever, I feel like it's a little dicey. Obviously, Toronto's still missing pieces. No Tavares. Pacioretty coming back will probably be rusty. So no Nyes either, I believe, right? So they're kind of jumbled the lines. I like the look of McMahon on the top line for a point. Looks good. I think it's like -120. Might be better somewhere else, but that feels pretty good. And maybe sprinkle his goal prop or shot prop as well, just because I feel like just given the usage, it's not a bad look. And I think you could do him and Marner point is +120. Him and Matthews point is +115. So if you want to get a little bit better price, just parlay them together. But yeah, I don't know what to make of Minnesota. I feel like they did really well without Kaprizov. They do have all the other pieces back, so I still kind of lean that way a little bit, but I'll probably end up staying off their money line.
Yeah, that's fair. Betsky, any looks for you in this one?
Yeah, I'm in agreement there too. It's really tempting to want to do Minnesota here, but didn't Gruen just come out and say that something about the team having a funk or the team's kind of going up and down and stuff, and it is what it is, blah, blah, blah.
It's always encouraging. Yeah, we're in a funk. Oh, well. Yeah.
But one guy who's been ripping is Joel Eriksson Ek lately. He's hit in 5 of the last 6 games. His average shot attempts aren't great yet, but he does have decent history against Toronto. He will be on the top line playing center there, averaging 5 shot attempts a game against Toronto. Last year, I think he's been like more of a home dog, but last year he was still like 66% on the road.
I know you. I have Eriksson Ek, Boldy, and Hartman are the other 2 shooters on the Minnesota side that I took a look at as well. Any thoughts on those 2?
Boldy, I do like a little bit more too, especially around 3 shots. He looks fantastic. 4, nice value, and he was absolutely ripping puck when Kaprizov was out earlier this season, but sometimes he just kind of isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting Hartman for 2+ tonight. He's hit in each of his last 2. His attempts aren't phenomenal. He had 3 on 3 versus Chicago. He had 2 on 4 attempts versus Calgary, but he does have a pretty good history against Toronto, hitting in each of his last 4 games. And the road, I think he's covered at like a 67% clip, if I remember correctly, as well. So I don't hate him. -145. And then again, that Matt Boldy look as well at 3+. His attempts have been phenomenal.
I know. And he had like a 7-game stretch when Kaprizov was out where he hit it. So it's I don't know. It's not bad. I can't say I dislike it.
Yeah.
You're getting a nice number on it too. I mean,
oh yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, the home and away splits, I think it's a difference of 5%, but he's still on the road hitting at a 65% clip. At home, he's at 70. So I don't mind it at all. What's the price on Boldy tonight at 3+?
like 140, 130.
Minus 145. Yeah, that's
No,
not a
that's
bad
awesome.
price at all. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, all right. Any other looks here? I mean, Nylander has an insane history for scoring against Minnesota. Where's that coming from? Betsky, was he snubbed in the draft or something? What's that angle?
I don't think Minnesota was drafting that early that year, but never know.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't mind looking at point props for those top guys for Minnesota as well. Like if you put them together, maybe like Zuccarello and Zuccarello and Boldy, or Zuccarello and Eriksson Ek for a point together. I feel like that's going to be a nice price. I don't think they're going to get shut out or anything like that. Let's put it that way.
I mean,
no, I think that's
Eriksson X like minus 120s. You could even take
you just do it straight.
Yeah, to get a little extra plus money and add Zux or Boldy to it.
Yeah,
or just Zux and Boldy.
Yeah. I mean, they did well without Kaprizov. They did.
I know.
I get that, like, everybody looks at that news and says, like, oh, they're done. But, like, we've already had this happen this year, and they were fine. So, there's no reason to be jumping off bridges yet, saying this team's toast. Like, they're still a team we should be looking at to find value, and I feel like there's value here tonight with them. It's not like Toronto's this great team we could trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dave made a good point here. I don't think it's a look ahead spot at all.
No.
No,
and again, I think the Wild are just trying to survive right now.
Yeah, I mean, they need to get anything they can. Yeah. By the way, if you're not taking Flower shutout tomorrow, I don't know what you're doing. So lock that in as soon as it's available.
Last time, right?
Yep. I'm gonna be looking to hit him like any other last time against Pittsburgh, if that is coming up. Last time against like Chicago, stuff like that.
Yep.
Would you sprinkle like under 2.5 goals against
Chicago?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd probably just take the shutout because that's just way more value and it's more fun that way. And I don't have to. I don't have to risk as much. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna bet like a full unit on that. Any power play points? I feel like Minnesota doesn't give up a ton of penalties, though, right?
Yeah, but their PK was awful for a minute. But I think that also got dragged down from Spurgeon and wow, no, they're 30th over the course of the season.
Yeah, they've given up a shorthanded goal in 3 straight in 3 of their last 6.
Yeah, so they're still 29th in their last 10, 65%. And they are giving up a decent amount, 2.6 per game over their last 10, ranking 10th. They're right below Florida. So, yeah, maybe that's a good way to go. Pick your poison. You don't get a ton of value on Toronto, guys, unfortunately.
That's fair. All right. Any other looks in this one before we move on to Philly, New Jersey?
Do we want to talk? Yeah, go ahead.
What?
We can talk about this game.
Dude, there's so many. There's at least a good storyline with Hischier being out, and I feel like that's pretty significant for this team.
Yeah.
Philly and New Jersey, these teams just played against each other. Philly won, but New Jersey is minus 185 tonight. Philly plus 154. Total set at 5.5, minus 115 to the over. Is this just a game where you turn around and take New Jersey, Franco? Pre-show, you said no. You're still not trusting them.
Yeah, I don't trust New Jersey's offense right now. And because of the loss of Hischier, like, at least in my mind, maybe this isn't how they're going to play it, but you would think that more players are going to have to focus defensively to kind of cover up the loss of him. So that kind of hurts their offense even more so. I just feel like, they've had some outburst games over the last, 10 or 15, but overall, I feel like their offense has been lackluster. And I think that's pretty significant. Jake Allen is the guy going forward with no Markstrom. That's a big negative as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like he's not that guy, you know. So not somebody I want to trust or put money on, let's put it that way. I believe his last let's see, 5, 6, 7 starts, 5, 6 starts, he's given up 3+ goals against as well. So that's not something that's going to help you. And like I said, without Heischer on top of that, it just hurts you guys. So no way I'm laying money on the Devils at all. I didn't really want to take Philly just given the back-to-back nature of this. I don't mind looking at Philly team total over 2.5 as -115. I think that's a good way to go. I don't mind the over at 5.5 as well. Although Erson's been good, man. I mean, I keep saying it since the last 3 or 4 games, he's kind of turned it around after, coming back from injury. He looked kind of rough, but he's looked better. The D is playing well in front of him. So, yeah, I think Flyers team total or just the over in general, maybe. No way I'm laying anything with the Devils, though.
I really like that.
Anything for Urson saves tonight? Over. He faced 33 against New Jersey the other night.
I could see it.
Decent against shots. But...
They typically don't give up a ton of shots, and of course, like Hughes had like 1,000 shots that game. I should go right back to his under again, just to be a dick. But I don't know, man. I will say Dougie Hamilton has a goal in 3 straight against Philly. So
wow,
something to consider. I thought about betting the last game and I didn't. You could also take his point at a pretty bettable number as well.
We need to talk about Michkov. Why did he only play 9 minutes in his last game?
So I was told, I read something today, the last 12 minutes of the game, he didn't play a shift as they tried to defend the lead, is what was written.
Okay, his time on ice tonight is 14 minutes. He had 9:45 against New Jersey. Every time he's had less than 10 minutes, he's gone over his total. He played 9 minutes earlier this season against Anaheim. In his next game against LA, he had 16:35.
Interesting.
Huh.
I don't know, man. You can't trust Torts.
No.
I did see a thing saying he was first at practice. He was like an hour early before anybody else was there today, and he was the last guy off the ice or something like that. So he's working, but I don't know.
He just doesn't know about daylight savings.
It'll get you every time.
Yeah.
Betsky, any looks for you in this one? I know you're super excited to talk about this game.
Yeah, no, I didn't really have any, but I definitely like that team total angle. I didn't really think about no Heischer plus Allen, and that does get it a little bit more enticing on the Flyer side. I just wish we could have some consistent props. Konechny has fantastic history against Jersey and has a point in 4 of his last 5, so that looks nice, but it's more of a parlay piece, and if you want to staple him to like another Jersey player, I don't know who you would do that with.
Yeah. Hearing that Michkov.
So you'd think that sounds good, but
Yeah. Franco, after hearing that statement of first one on the ice, last guy to leave, I'm taking his time on ice tonight. I know not everyone's going to be on it, but I am going to hop on that.
Just take his goal.
I'm taking his point. I'm taking his point plus 140.
His point's pretty
actually
nice.
I love that. Yep. I mean, he's the type of guy that he's been streaky. Think of
and
the
he's
benching, and then he went on.
So far, he's motivated, man. Like what I've seen from him, he wants to be a good pro. Just given what, especially in this offense with this coach, it's tough, but he's working his way through it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that plus 130 for a Michkov point. Missed in 3. Coming out heated.
Allen stinks.
He's been better at home
Allen
too.
Stinks.
He's hitting 3 of his last 4 at home.
So I just looked.
This is a way.
So you talked about that Anaheim game. He had 9 minutes. The next game he had a goal or a point.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a 13-minute game. The next game against the Islanders, he had a point. So, and then another 13-minute game, and then he played more minutes in that next game against Detroit, and he had a point. So there you go. Good narrative there.
Time
And
on
if
ice
anything,
plus point.
the best Jersey guys will probably be up against Konechny and everybody.
Yeah.
So he's most likely paired against the Mercer Meyer line or the Paul Cotter Tatar line. Neither of those really worry me that much,
No. All right. At least we found some value in this one then.
Yeah. Good job.
So next game we have another. I guess a few props in this one. I guess Vancouver at Nashville. Nashville minus 142. Total set at 5.5. Minus 122. It's just depressing reading these totals off of what we had last year and 2 years ago of 6.5s, minus 125s, just expecting points and goals, and now it's 5.5s just across the entire board. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
there's no goals.
You know what else is crazy? The fact that JT Miller and Elias Pettersson are still on the Vancouver Canucks right now. What?
I think Kiefer Sherwood just went
making
to
these situations
IR.
worse and worse with every press release that comes out.
It's a shit show.
Yeah. So that being said, are you taking any Pettersson props tonight?
No.
I looked at his 2+ shots on goal, but I think he's worse, much worse on the road. So that's a concern. But what props did you have in this one, Betsky?
I mean, the nice thing about the Predators and kind of this crappy thing is that it's a one-line team right now and has been pretty much all season. I mean, look at these runs from Marchessault and Forsberg lately. The points situation's insane. If you have a book that allows you to stack two people on the same line, it's kind of the cheat code right now. I mean, you can pick two of that top line or all three, and you're probably going to be getting something. So I just don't see any reason to turn right back to it too. Stamkos has fantastic history against Vancouver with 6 points in the last 8 games. 3 of those are multi-point games. Marchessault just ended that crazy 10-point game streak. So maybe you can jump back on to that choo-choo train. I mean, just kind of up and down there, that top line at least. You can just kind of find little parlay pieces or pieces to staple to each other. I'm not going to get cute with it.
Yeah, you're going to do a point stack then maybe on that top line?
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Even Stamkos' shots don't look terrible versus Vancouver tonight. So,
yep.
But again, that home and away splits haven't been great, but he started off the year terribly. So I'm not putting too much into that as he's just kind of trying to turn things around. Franco, any looks for you in this one?
I feel like this is an under. I don't necessarily love it because, Demko in that. I kind of lean Nashville here at minus 142. I feel like there's a little bit of value there. I know it's kind of in the cusp of that bettable range, but kind of lean that way. I don't think there's any reason to not look at Quinn Hughes props. I know there's not a ton of value there, obviously, but I don't mind his shots. I know he's been spotty as hell, but I mean, at this point, it's like him and nobody else, it feels like at times. I know they've been maybe a little bit better these last couple games, but Garland, what did Garland have? 2 goals the last game? I'm not buying that 1 game resurgence or 2 game resurgence from this team. I think they're just not. They don't have it right now. I will say this was pointed out earlier by Cheds in a group chat, but Bet365 has the wrong Elias Pettersson listed for shots. So you can bet the other Elias Pettersson under 1.5 shots. He's played 2 games so far and has no shots on goal. So just gonna put that out there. Just don't hammer it because you know how books can be and tell you it's the wrong guy. But if you look at the picture, it's literally the other guy. So we all know what Elias Pettersson looks like, the real one at least. So But yeah, otherwise, not too much in this game. I think my main bet here is just going to be taking that Nashville money line. Maybe I'll stack like a Stamkos Marchessault or Stamkos Forsberg type of point parlay or something stupid, but that's it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Marchessault shots on goal today?
Yeah, it looks fine.
15 attempts in his last game.
It's pretty crazy. He's been on one for sure. I just feel like I would be hopping on late if I take it now.
I know.
Yeah.
Didn't Nyquist have a decent history against Vancouver? Yeah, it's just.
I feel like
not
he's
exactly
not
the most appetizing game
anymore. No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm if I like an under, like I don't want to be like hammering a bunch of stuff in this game. That's for sure.
That's fair. Oh, he's on a line with Hinostroza still. Oh yeah, actually, the sports money printer pointed this out to me too. The head-to-head here is insane. I forgot about this. He showed me this morning.
Besser, 3+ shots on goal.
At Nashville.
At Nashville, yeah. It's the
at
away.
Nashville. Oh, so you're really refining this head-to-head.
Look at these,
Nashville.
Have you ever seen Bosser have 12 attempts?
No.
And he has a game with 12-8-9 against them in Nashville.
I mean, I don't know, man. I get it.
Yeah.
I feel like when I've been betting these types of bets, they have not been coming through. Like a la Morgan Riley a couple of games ago against CJ.
Oh man, Tays last night. How about that?
Yeah. I'm glad I missed that bombshell. I thought about it. I really did.
I ran right into that mine. I stopped blinking too, and I just ran right to it to see what it was.
You're like, "Ooh,
Gretzky, come get your cheese." That trap just came down on you. All right, let's get off this game.
Okay.
I'm sick of this one. Pittsburgh at Utah, another barn burner of offensive firepower that we're in for this last one. Betsky, you can start us off here. What do you got?
Well, Logan Cooley is from the Pittsburgh area. He's still on the top line playing with Keller. So point stacks with that looks great. His shots look pretty decent too. He's better on the road with his shots, but again, he's been cooking lately, hitting 4 out of his last 5. He's averaging around 5 shot attempts per game. And again, he's got that kind of extra motivation of playing his hometown favorite team, which he had 3 shots on goal when he played in Pittsburgh earlier this season. And last year when he played against them for the first time, he had 4 attempts, but 0 shots, but very different player then. He had 2 points last time they played too. Ben Cold, as far as the points go, the past 3 games, so maybe perfect time for him to get going again. The other side of this is that Hayton line has looked great. Hayton was the 3rd star of the week. I think it was 4 goals, 5 points in 3 games last week. His shots look pretty decent too. I think he's just kind of excelling with Doan, and he was playing with Michelli, who got scratched today. So let me see who is on the second line with him.
Yeah, his shots look phenomenal.
You're getting that. And in fact, there's a lot of places that aren't allowing you to go up above 1.5. So,
but even I think his 1.5 mark, if I'm looking at this correctly, Heaton at -140.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's such a fantastic parlay piece.
Yeah.
Looks like Kerfoot up on the line with that. Doan and Hayton.
That's going to be a smart line. That's going to be a tough one to play against.
Yep.
Hayton should be trying to eat the shots on that line too, though.
Ooh, remember when Hayton was like a wagon with shots?
Mm-hmm.
That might not be a bad thing to go to. I mean, this is a good matchup. He has hit 3 in a row on the road. Actually, he's been pretty good overall.
Yeah, he's been really good. He's hit the 2.5 7 out of the last 10. That's Cooley 2.5, Kesselring 1.5. Kesselring,
no
Kesselring maybe back. So yeah,
no
jump off the Kesselring. No
I was actually considering grabbing Kesselring under, to be honest with you, just because I feel like there's value on it. You're getting plus 125. I know the matchup's great, but His time on ice is going to dip, and when Sergeyev's back, he just doesn't get as much run.
He's been playing with Cole. I don't know if I'm willing to jump on the under for it yet, but I would just lay off Kesselring.
Yeah.
And
Franco,
then,
what do you have
I mean,
in this
Hayton
one?
all the way to 3, I think looks great.
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
Hayton at 1.5 is,
But yeah, Kesselring is not on the top power play anymore because of that. And with Gunther, the top power play, I mean, the top power play unit's been eating tons of time, regardless with Gunther or not. So love Hayton up to 3.
Hayton 3 plus 200. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna add him and Cooley. I think both of those guys look fantastic.
Yeah.
I think we see goals here, guys. I mean,
5.5
is hanging there on DK minus 135. I know
Ingram's in net. He's looked better since he's come back. And don't forget he was on leave for a family situation, not an injury. Somebody on the Penguin side that looks good too. Erik Karlsson shots.
That guy that misses the net quite often.
Yeah.
9 attempts, 2 on net.
Yeah,
I
nailed it.
Geez, maybe not.
Maybe I was gonna say he's missing 3 of his last 4.
Maybe not.
It took him 10 attempts to get 3 on net in his last game versus Utah.
Nailed it.
But he did it.
You know what? I didn't consider that fact that he actually did it with 10 shot attempts.
That's awful.
What about Crosby Shogs? It's Crosby Soggy. Oof. Great history. Hitting 6 of the last 7 with 7.1 shot attempts per game. He scored his 500th goal against them earlier this season?
Yeah, I think so. Any thoughts on a Raquel point tonight?
I don't mind just stacking like a couple of guys on that line, like Crosby and Raquel, Crosby and Rust. Go all 3 if you want to get saucy, whatever.
Ooh, saucy. That's
gotta be decent, right? Given they're on the road, I kind of lean Pittsburgh here. What do you think about that, Betsky? Am I out of line here?
I think you're out of line. Utah dropped 2.
Dropped 2 in a row, you said?
Mm-hmm. After winning 2 in a row. They need to get better at home. I know they're not as good at home, but I don't know.
So Crosby Rust is plus 120. Crosby or Raquel is plus 125. That's where I would go as opposed to laying like minus 130 or whatever it is for Raquel for just a point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Letang looks good too.
Anyone on the Tang?
Good history.
First shots or
how many shots does it take him to get there? That's the question.
6.
All right. That's a little more reasonable.
Yeah.
Oh, Utah doesn't allow too much shots to defensemen, though.
Yeah, they're not really like a target, right?
Yeah.
I mean, bunting shots
bunting
doesn't look.
The XO.
Yeah.
I was looking at him earlier, though. I wasn't. If anything, we were his launching off point to get to Toronto, so he may not really hate the team.
Is Bukestad former
Penguin?
I feel like he's played for like 1,000 teams. So like
I know he was on Florida and Minnesota. Yeah, I think he may have for a minute.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think he cares too much.
I don't think he cares either. But I just had to make sure my knowledge was there. Guys played for like half the league.
All right. Any other props in this game before we build our parlay?
Nah.
Perfect. Betsky, you want to start us off?
kind of want to do Hayton 3 shots.
3 or 2?
Yeah, let's go crazy here.
Let's go crazy with this.
Yeah, let's go
There's
all
not
plus
that many
money
choices
please.
you like.
Let's go all plus money.
All right, Hayton 3+ at plus 220. You looking at Bennett 3 at plus money then?
I already have that. I don't want to add it more.
Okay.
I'm thinking Mitchkov point at plus 120.
Damn. Yeah.
All right. I like that.
All right, Gator, where's the plus money? Can you find it?
Wait. I don't. Where can we get Hayton at 3?
On DK.
Oh yeah. Thank you. I don't know why I'd be looking anywhere else.
Do you go Marchessault to 4? Do you go Boldy 4?
I trust Marchessault more, just with the sheer amount of attempts that he's had.
Or you go like Kempe to 4? I'm trying to see who else would be like.
Doesn't have to be plus, I guess, if we have 2 plus already.
Yeah, I guess. What's your best play, Gator? Come on, what you got?
I'm not on Kempe anywhere.
I'm fine. I'm fine with bumping Marchessault up to 4.
All right, yeah.
You want to do that? Just get crazy.
Yeah. That should be good.
Right.
What's that, like plus 8?
Has he ever had? He hasn't hit over 4 and 5 straight this season.
So you want to go? Well, you take Marchessault at 3, and that's still plus 1073.
Do that.
Yeah, that feels better.
Hayton at 3, Mitchkov at point, and then Marchessault at 3. That's plus 1073 on DK.
That'll do.
That'll do. I like it. All right, all of our cards will be posted later tonight. Early show, so we actually have some time to do some write-ups tonight. It's kind of nice. I don't hate it. So, anything else to add or to plug you guys have going on?
No.
Nothing.
Any more?
I'm ready for a break with the NHL.
I'm so ready for the
to be honest,
Nation break. It's gonna be great.
Who's the next Clean Hits interview?
I can't say.
It's not going to be Mateus Michelli because he's going to be traded by then.
All right. I want to thank everyone for listening today. Be sure to check out DraftKings if you haven't yet. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. We appreciate everyone for listening, and we will talk to you guys on Friday. Have a good one.